Thanks, Riley, for joining us for In the Loop, a series where we're talking to interesting people doing interesting things, yourself included, in the circularity space.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming out.
Can you briefly introduce yourself and what UPPAREL is?
Yep. So Riley Aiken, I'm Partnerships and Uptex Manager for UPPAREL. UPPAREL are an onshore textile recycler and material recovery organisation. So we service everyone from your everyday consumer, because anyone in Australia can book a collection from their home. And we recycle for everyone from your local primary school to high-end retailers, fast fashion, government, banks, anyone who wears textiles. We probably get them here and recycle them.
So as a textiles recycler, what sort of volumes of textiles do you have coming in here every day?
Every day, it's easier probably to say every week, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So on an average week, in terms of commercial, so excluding consumer, business to business, we receive about anywhere between 10 and 20 tonne per week. And our operating capacity, we receive probably about 150 tonne a month that we work through.
And given that volume of textiles you have coming through, what is the biggest challenge that you face working in textiles recycling?
Biggest challenge we face is probably the time it takes to decommission things. And by decommissioning, I mean separating out different materials or components so that the garments can be recycled. So I guess a simple answer would be composite materials are our biggest challenge, because that increases labour, time and cost, and slows down the whole process.
To go on the flip side of the challenges that you face, what are some of the most exciting things to you happening in textiles recycling at the moment?
Uptex is 100% the most exciting thing going on, not just because I'm leading the product, but just the fact that, you know, we work with, as I said, so many different organisations at all different levels, but in particular in the construction sector, there's a really big push for a recycle first policy. So for all of the big build sites, or the vast majority of them at least, we get all of their uniforms and PPE. So it's really exciting that we can then create a high value product that is still recyclable, that can then be used within builds for something as simple as gawk screen or site signage, all the way up to acoustic paneling, and even furniture in a new build. So it's exciting to take something out and then reintroduce it as the very same material. On the flip side of that, I guess the other exciting thing about apparel, not just textile recycling, is a reuse space, and seeing the impact that that has on the charity partners that we work with.
So what are the streams that you have at UPPAREL? So you have Uptex, and then you have your partners, your charity partners. Could you go into those streams?
Yeah. So we have Uptex, which is one of the three products we make with post-consumer textile waste. The other one is Fill Up, which is a material that can be used and is used as a replacement for virgin insulation, for thermal insulation. It is also used as a replacement for polyurethane foam in something like the couches we're sitting on now. And then the third one and most simple one is called Fluff Up, which is used as a replacement for polyfill, which is that white fluffy stuff you see in your cushions at home. It's used for everything from dog beds to door snakes and draft stoppers, and also cushion fill. And then on the flip side of that, we've got the charity stream. Around about 60% of what we receive does go to recycling, because that's things like uniforms and legitimately end-of-life garments that no one has any use for. But about 40% is eligible for our charity partners. I say eligible rather than diverted, because not everything we receive that is deemed applicable for reuse is reused. And that's simply down to the fact that if we get something like 1,000 white cotton t-shirts, we don't just go, okay, 50 for you, 100 for you, 50 for you, 100 for you. It's all about an open dialogue with those charities and finding out what they need. But a lot of the time, it's more importantly what they don't need, because all of the charity partners we work with, Tina, who's our co-founder, you met her before, a lot of her job is just liaising with charities with an open dialogue, to ensure that what they're getting is what they need, so that it gets reused, because all of the charities we work with, they get it for free. We do sorting for them. Some of them come in here and do sorting for themselves as well. But they get it all for free. The only caveat is if they cannot reuse it, or in the case of op shops, resell it, has to come back here, because we can't have it being sent overseas, losing traceability and visibility of it. And we definitely cannot have it going to landfill. So that's by the caveat of 40% can be reused, but is not necessarily reused. But I guess that's a good thing about having both the reuse and the recycle channel, because at the end of the day, even if no charity needs that grey sweatshirt, it can still be turned into something, and those materials can remain in circulation.
So Uptex is your most recent material that you're making. What are you most excited for it to be used for? What are some examples that you're seeing that you're excited about?
In the build space, so particularly acoustic paneling, we've had Uptex, the 10 and the 20 mil thicknesses acoustically rated, so they've got the noise reduction coefficient, and we've actually found that it performs as well, if not better, than purpose-made acoustic panels. So I'm currently working with a developer and architecture firm to get this fit out in a very exciting new build, and can't say too much more about it at the moment, but it'll be a large amount that is used within this build, and Uptex is actually being used because it performs better than the purpose-made virgin acoustic panel that they were going to make. Another exciting opportunity is we are creating custom desk dividers for a Victorian government agency who supply us with uniforms. So it's exciting to be able to put something back in, not just at a work site or something like that, but somewhere where staff will be essentially using it every single day.
And then we're trying to finish every episode with a suggestion, something practical that people watching can do. So the question is, what is one practical thing people watching this can do to contribute to a more circular fashion industry?
Probably consume consciously. Think about what you're buying. I've said this at a number of times when I've spoken to corporate partners. Not just buying something because it's on sale, not buying something because you think you might wear it once. This shirt that I'm wearing right now, I don't know how many years I've had it. I bought it because it was a high quality shirt and it has stood the test of time. I've had it for many, many years, worn it across probably 4 different jobs. So, take a leaf out of that. Think about what you're buying. Think about the impact. Maybe that $2.50 shirt. Why is that $2.50? How could you possibly make a white shirt? Make it, let alone grow the cotton, spin it, make it, transport it into your store for $2.50. You've got to think about the implications of that.
Yeah.
Consume consciously, then that's in short.
I like that little catchphrase. It's been really great learning a little bit more about apparel, and it's amazing that we have you guys as a company here in Australia doing what you do, coming up with innovations like Uptex. Thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you.